What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Party Chat. I'm your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week, who else? Ashley Dye, Daniel.
Surprise!
I know, what a shock. It's almost like we just did a video 30 seconds ago. But for the sake of illusion, this is Wednesday, and every Wednesday we will be doing this show. Generally, will be 10 to 15 minute episodes where we will sit down and we will bring a question to the table. The first two episodes, they've been a little bit different. If you want to watch them, you can see them on the channel in the playlist. We talked about our best game or our favourite games of 2014. And then we talked about our most anticipated or some of our anticipated games for 2015. But now we've got those, what we felt were mandatory topics out of the way.
I think so for the beginning of the year, yeah.
We can now focus on random conversations between us. We'll be choosing a different topic. We'll be going around the table and choosing different topics each week, but because it's my house and my camera, I'm calling rank and doing the first one. And so guys, I read an article a couple of weeks back about a real estate company saying that they thought that GTA 6 should be set in Portland. And they go into a whole reason about it. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but it got me thinking. Not where do you think the next location will be, because Rockstar have always proven that you can't really second guess it, but what would be your ideal or dream location if you could go anywhere in the world and they could do anything?
Yeah.
What would you want GTA 6 to be, and in terms of location, and why?
Okay.
I'll leave it to which one of you wants to go first.
We'll let Dan go first.
All right. Well, I've thought about putting it in the backdrop of Vegas because it's got your casino stuff there, which lends itself to both storyline stuff and side missions, like activities, whatever.
Yeah,
it sets up the groundwork for if they want to do something similar in terms of heists for the next one.
Yeah,
it's all there, like in place. Like you could be working your way up from like small, minor, outlying casinos to like the big one. Sort of like thing, if you want to go down, if they want to go down that road. It's like the history of the city itself. I mean, like it's basically a mob city.
It's an iconic location as well.
But it was basically run by the mob at one time. So you could have a lot of stories running off that. Like maybe you're part of a family trying to reclaim its power.
And you've still got the new Vegas and the old Vegas there as well.
Exactly,
anyway.
You've got the conflicting styles of things. And like the location itself, it's not just the city. You can use, because you've got like the Hoover Dam, you've got the Colorado River, which makes the Grand Canyon, and so on there as well.
Yeah.
No, that's.
I've got anything else.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I think that would, if that game was to come out, I would enjoy that location very much.
I would.
I remember there was a game that was going to come out called This Is Vegas.
Yeah, because I think they might have done something in San Andreas, like almost like the Strip as part of the county.
Yeah,
I think they did something like
it was set.
I think they had something like that, so they might have included a little bit of that, but like the full city.
That would be my only thing that I would say that could potentially stop it is obviously the city's very different, but the countryside would be very similar to GTA 5 because there's a lot of desert and you've already got like the dam.
That is the downside
as well, but. I think that would be a good location and could be it would definitely be a lot of fun if it was set there.
I agree. I think it would make for a great GTA location.
Okay, well, can you better it, Ash?
I don't know if I can better it. I mean, I think my thoughts were Paris for one, because I don't think Paris is really used enough in games. There are a lot of iconic buildings there. There's a lot of areas. I mean, you've got obviously the Eiffel Tower, but you've got the Arc de Triomphe, you've got the Champs-Élysées, the Louvre, the Notre Dame as well, the Cathedral. There's a lot of stuff there, which there's a lot more than what you'd originally think there is there. And I don't think there are enough games that are set in Paris.
I think Europe is as a whole, I think, neglected quite a lot, but I think it's based on maybe the studio's knowledge. Like a lot of these studios, especially like kind of Rockstar North, obviously set in the US, so they're much more familiar. So in order of kind of creating a realistic world, it's a lot easier for them to create a world where
I agree,
they are familiar with. Whereas Paris is obviously maybe somewhere they're not so familiar with. But
yeah. But in terms, I mean,
Could
there's a lot of history there as well. In Paris, it's a very historical city, and I just think you've got not only the city as well, but the sort of there are aspects of sort of countryside there as well. I think it could work. I do. Whether it betters Vegas, I don't know, because I am still very.
I know you like Vegas. You've been there a few times.
Vegas is location wise, it's in terms of holidays and things like that. I love Vegas. Been there a lot.
It would definitely offer something different.
It would
going to Europe, because like playing in Unity right now for Assassin's Creed, like that's obviously a Paris-based game. It's a very narrow city, at least going by that representation of it.
Sure.
So like GTA games have always had these big wide roads for these big vehicles to basically go barreling down however they want.
Yeah.
As part of the game. Paris streets are not going to be
the
same sort of thing, so it would offer a different gaming dynamic. So
it would.
See, I kind of follow Ash similarly in the kind of European setting of them maybe going back to London.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they were originally.
I mean, they had GTA the original, and they had a GTA 2, and then they did GTA London.
Oh, that was.
But that was kind of, it was set in like not a modern day London. It was set in, for the best of words, kind of like a 60s, 70s kind of London. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be really good fun. I played a game on the PS2 called The Getaway. I think we've spoken about it before. I'm sure I brought it up on the Game in a Week show at one point, which airs every Monday, by the way, just in case you haven't watched it before. But no, that game, I remember having a lot of fun with it, because you had like classic British cars, and then there was kind of like iconic locations, Buckingham Palace, Trafalgar Square.
Yeah.
And obviously now you've got things like the London Eye, Homicide Eiffel Tower again there.
So you've got London Eye, you've got the Shard.
Yeah, there's so much.
Like whatever, the one they called the Gherkin.
Yeah.
There's
so like just for the background towers.
And you've got the financial district, and then I suppose the only problem is, and why maybe Vegas wins out of 3 that we've picked, would be that GTA is obviously looking to get bigger and bigger. I mean, the last game was huge, and that was made on old machinery. Yeah, I know, yes, it came for, that was just a port and upres. So this new game is going to be so vast. I mean, maybe, we've talked about it briefly, as them having multiple locations. So we could tie us together. London is not that far away from Paris, connected by the Channel Tunnel.
Yeah.
So basically GTA Europe.
You could have a GTA Europe.
You could. You could. Yeah. And we've only got to look at the map on the Crew. Is it the size of the map?
That's obviously a bit different. I mean, it's stuff we talked about that I think this week, and yes, it has got a representation of all of the US, and it is like 2.5 hours across, but you kind of lose the quality in the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe
you do have to kind of be careful how big a map you make, because no one wants to play a GTA game where they're actually on a road trip.
Yeah.
For like 3 hours to get to their next destination.
I think the next key will be GTA 5, no bigger than that, but a more densely populated world. Like, you'll be able to go into nearly every building or something like that. So I don't think they're going to go bigger in size.
Yeah.
They're just going to go even more detail.
Denser,
Just have more detail in that map in terms. I think you're right. I think to be able to access more of the buildings and shops and things like that, and have more interaction with the surroundings, is maybe the way forward, rather than making it bigger.
Yeah.
Because bigger doesn't make it better.
No,
I think
that's what she said.
I think just.
Well, that's what she did say, actually.
I think just.
Sorry,
it's okay, mate. It's fine. Just moving on very quickly. That's all. No,
I think that's what she said.
I think.
Keep digging.
I think the main key, is you're right. I think just focus on what you've got and just go into more detail.
Yeah, I think the final thing then is, you say Paris would be beautiful, and I agree, and I would absolutely love London, because I think it's such a good city. It's so underutilized in video games, but
it is.
Closing up with this week's show, do we realistically think they will abandon the US? Not abandon as such, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
They did that one game as like a spin-off, but like ever since they've gone into like the 3D worlds, it's always been the US. And in fact, they haven't even used that many different locations. What are they, like 3 different locations? Really?
They've had New York twice, haven't they?
Well, like they had Liberty City, which was the original GTA 3.
Yeah.
That was. It was. I wasn't really sure what that was. It wasn't. I don't think it was a representation of a city, as far as I'm aware. I might be wrong. I might be really wrong here. But then you had Vice City, which is obviously Miami.
Yep.
You had GTA 4, which was New York. But it was also called Liberty City. So maybe GTA 3 was a representation of New York, but just not as
good
matched.
Yeah.
And then you've had kind of LA, but like LA County, like a couple of times now. So
I think they have to use Vegas. Personally, I think
they have to.
I think they have to. I don't think they'd be stupid not to. I really think they have to use Vegas.
So I think basically what we're saying is you're right, Dan.
Hey.
First time for everything, I suppose. But
I do. I
really do agree with you. Like
there
when
is so
you
much
said it,
scope there, and there is just so much to do with it. You know, you've got the casino, you've got the corruption, you've got loads of hotels. There's always new hotels going up, so there's going to be a lot of building sites and things like that and cranes that are going to add on there as well. You've got desert. You've got like I say, the Grand Canyon as well. So
the only downside I've seen,
there.
the only downside when I was coming up with this that I thought to Vegas was there's not a massive scope for the watercraft as such, but they're not really used that much in GTA. Like the last game, barely.
You can go in the water. You can. I mean, because that was like
outside
the point of the world, wasn't it? It was like the
depth,
kind of verticality of the world. You can go all the way to the bottom of the ocean and go way beyond the clouds.
Yeah.
And you do lose that because you are, like you said, in a desert.
Yeah, but there is the river and there is like the dam where you can have something based in water. It just wouldn't be like ocean scale.
I wouldn't be annoyed if I played a GTA game that didn't have water. Let's put it that way.
No, it wouldn't bother me.
Like, outside of the forced mission moments and like the last game, I didn't bother.
No. So closing up then, do we think Portland is the right choice as a real estate company?
No,
I don't think so.
We think he's. I mean, he obviously believed it would be appropriate.
He did it based off like an algorithm of number of police stations and.
There's a lot of you know, there's a perfect combination of coffee shops, strip clubs, and police stations in Portland, apparently, which is like the foundations to any GTA game. Apparently, but so there we go. Well, that'll be it for this week on Party Chat. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a like, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel. Do let us know in the comments down below about what you think would be a ideal location for GTA. I'm sure there are so many that we could list, and we could be here for hours, but we don't want to be, and I'm sure you don't want to be. Well, you could just turn off, I suppose. But but for this week's episode, Dan, Ash,
cheers guys.
Cheers guys.
Thank you for your time. And everyone out there, we will see you next Wednesday.